You're listening to the Nintendo Powercast, episode 418. I'm your host, N64 Josh. Johnny Bo, what's up, dude?
What's going on? I'm checking play times right now. Cheesy has 50 hours. Crawler has 40. Hold on, I gotta go way to the bottom for Josh. Hold on.
I've been playing on my alt
Josh is 10. Okay, that's not terrible.
Yeah, before I hit record, the last thing I heard was, "Have you even left Sky Island?" So, Cheesy, how's it going?
What's going on, cheese curds?
Crawler, how are you?
Hey, how's it going? I'm here to save the Koroks from their torture.
Yeah, it's a lot. It
is a lot.
No, let them burn.
It's a bit much.
Burn.
It's a bit much.
Let them burn. All right. Well, before we jump into this, guys, we want to invite you to the Discord, n64josh.com/Discord. Come hang out. We would love to chat games with you. And if you have any podcast needs, I am turning. There's going to be a link in the description, and I've got webinars going. If you want to sign up for a webinar, we're going to do. I have a 30-minute presentation followed by 30 minutes of Q&A. And I've also got a podcast ebook that's available. And I want to help people get their shows off the ground. I also run a service where if you don't want to do any of the uploading or anything, you just want to show up and talk, hit me up. I have options available for you as well. I have I've started getting a handful of clients that are just I'm launching shows for people left and right, and it's a lot of fun. So if that's something you're interested in, the link is in the description. And speaking of podcasts, Communication Air going strong. You guys hit, I saw over 100 downloads so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, on Spotify, we're averaging about 100 total listens per episode.
That's amazing.
Only for 3 weeks. I feel pretty good about that.
Yeah. You should. Guys, make sure to check it out. It is available everywhere. And we're going to get a link in the description as well, so you guys can go and check that out. Lastly, Johnny, where can people find you?
I'm Johnny Bo everywhere. Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and here. And with Cheesy on Communication Air.
There we go. Cheesy, where can people connect with you?
You can find me on TikTok, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, YouTube, probably other places, and better than Johnny Cheesy C64, CheeZyC 64.
And Crawler, where can people connect with you?
Hanging out just in Discord and Twitter and TikTok. Nightcrawler724. Nightcrawlers without the E.
All right. Well, we kind of just have one main topic.
It's a little one, small.
It's a small one. We got one main topic, but we are gonna, before we jump right into the main topic, I do want to just kind of get everybody's impressions of Tears of the Kingdom, and the main topic is The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom a perfect video game? Because it's gotten so many 10s across the board. I've got a tweet out there that's getting some different replies from people, and it's the thing that kind of sparked this was Cheesy saying, I don't think it's a 10 out of 10. So we're gonna dive into that, but before we do, I just want to get first impressions. We're gonna keep this relatively, if not completely, spoiler free, and so
nobody's really done the story anyway. I mean,
yeah, who's playing Story Quest?
yeah, for sure. So, depending on what you consider a spoiler, hopefully we don't touch on those things, but we will be talking somewhat about the shrines and maybe just some of our different experiences along the way. But Johnny, why don't you kick us off? What are your first impressions of Tears of the Kingdom?
It's everything I wanted it to be. It's Breath of the Wild, but better. I don't know how they did it, but they somehow made the same Hyrule more fun to explore. And
times 2.5.
Yeah. There's underground and the sky now, and caves, which I don't think I knew that there were that many caves going into it, but there are caves everywhere, and there's wells. There's so much to do in this game that everybody's going to have a different experience.
Have you found the lady that keeps track of how many wells you've found?
Yeah, I don't know where she went though. Like I talked to her once.
There's a well in Lookout Point. She goes down in that well.
Okay. Because I've been finding wells everywhere, and she's not there, and I'm like, how am I supposed to get my 10 rupees? Because you get 10. I think you get 10 rupees for every well you discover.
Something like that, yeah.
But yeah, there's so much in this game. I thought Breath of the Wild was huge. This is like unfathomable how big it is.
So on Saturday, I did the TikTok Gamer Lounge. They had me stream on there for with Tears of the Kingdom.
Mhm.
The number one question that I want you guys to answer also was, how did you find a shirt? Like, I found a shirt immediately. Like immediately.
You just gotta. So I spent so much time on the opening area. I probably spent 4 hours, 3-4 hours, and I explored every nook and cranny. I found the shirt. I found the cold pants. Yeah, the snow pants, which are very helpful. Like even
super helpful
later in the game. And yeah, I just explored that whole sky area. That's how you find things out here. Just explore.
Did you guys all find shirts then?
I think I have the ancient wear set. Yeah, it's like
just like a
little
kilt, like a
kilt and like a
like a green, like a just a little like shawl almost or something.
Yeah, the fairies won't touch that. That's stuck at what it is.
Yeah, you can't upgrade that one.
I see. Okay. I mean, it was a lot of people. Where did you get the shirt? I'm like, I don't even know. Like, I didn't think anything of it.
You should have made a video about it. You should have made like how to find a shirt.
Well, I got to start the game over and go do it. Like, because I mean, so many people.
Well, you can't make another save file.
The real question is, do you have a full glider set, like the glide suit?
No.
Have you guys not done the glide suit stuff?
No.
Oh, that's some of the cool challenges. And you get.
Are you talking about the skydiving challenges?
Yeah.
I did one of them.
You get a wingsuit out of it. It helps your skydiving skill. There's pants. There's pants, a mat. You look like a bird with a mask on.
That's cool.
And then if you upgrade that all the way with the fairies, you can just land without your glider without taking fall damage.
Oh, that's handy.
Yeah,
that is handy. Cheesy, how about you? First impressions.
I think it's a total snooze fest. I think it's just, like we already did this. Why are we doing it again? No.
Cheesy, I know we agreed to switch places before the episode, but like that's a little too far.
No, I mean, this game is incredible, and every waking moment you're just wanting to play more. So it's been a lot of fun. There's a lot to discover, and again, like what Johnny was saying, it's like we already did this, but somehow we're doing it again and enjoying it even more than we did the first time. And they nailed it. There's a couple of things that like I did that were kind of annoying, and I don't want to get into like spoiler territory, but I found a temple, and I got there and they were like, oh, you can't be here for reasons. And so I was like, okay, well, I'll come back when I acquire the thing that I need to have. So then I got back to that temple, and I was messing around and found all the rooms that I needed to be in. And I was like missing one key component. And I was like, I don't know what this is. I've been at it for probably like 3 hours now. I need to look it up. And then when I look it up, they're like, oh, well, you need, and I was like, oh, of course. So, there's a lot of backtracking, I would say. Like even early in the game, there's a lot of backtracking that is kind of unnecessary. Just like the build up to the start of the game. But this game is amazing. And
are you talking like just on Sky Island where you go there and then it's like, oh, go find more stuff, and then you have to
there's that
on the surface?
Both. There's that with Sky Island, and then when you do land on the surface, there's a lot of like, go talk to this person. Now go back to camp.
They would have just given you the paraglider right away instead of
yeah. But no, I mean, it's incredible that we even are at this point to where we have a sequel to Breath of the Wild, and it's so much fun.
So I'm gonna let you guys know, I'm gonna ask the question, what was your first few like hours like on the Sky Islands, because I'm gonna talk about my experience there. So just kind of get that going. But Crawler, what are your first impressions?
I mean, it's great. It's kind of a little bit of deja vu. I was a little saddened to see the four corners, go do your thing as your main quest to start. Like they didn't come up with anything more unique, I guess. But the whole aspect of that, doing it at your leisure, is kind of like your everything that you do, even side quest wise, because there's you're pointed in a direction, which is a different direction that I went in than from Breath of the Wild, which is nice. I went to Rito Village for my first kind of exploration, and there's a stable up there that is a different thing, which you should go, if you haven't done it yet, go talk to that stable. It's not a stable anymore, but it leads to a bunch of different quests that you'll just see out in the wild if you haven't done that yet. So definitely go there. But everything that's like associated with that is like, everyone is kind of looking for Zelda, which is kind of cool, but that it's not just this unknown thing that you're just forgetting that the world is. Everyone's talking about the upheaval. I think it's called the upheaval, right? Isn't that what they called it?
Yeah.
So everyone's kind of addressing that, and there's sightings of Zelda around that you're investigating, and it all kind of seems to tie together, even though it's these side adventures, because there's classifications of stuff. There's main quest, there's side adventures, which are longer tail, kind of given clues in a direction to head, but not like the tracker beacon kind of stays on the person that you talk to. It doesn't go just tell you where to go. It kind of gives you a descriptor. And then there's like just side quests, which is like usually held within the confines of where you accept the person you talk to, like right then and there. So it's kind of cool. And side quests are definitely shorter. Adventures are a little bit longer or lead to something else that you can kind of do. So I think it's really cool. And we've kind of addressed it. Like the Sky Island stuff is cool. It's a lot more sparse than I thought it was going to be. From like the great, is it called the Great Skyline? It's the grand, or what's the
It's
starting?
like the Great Plateau.
Great Plateau, yeah.
It's a great plateau in the sky.
Yeah, it's just that in the sky, and then there's a lot of other stuff dotted around, which you get launched up in the sky to kind of get to some of that stuff, but some of that stuff is a lot higher up than what you can get launched with. So there's cool, unique ways to kind of make your way around and find that stuff. But then there's also very quickly into the game, you learn about the depths, which is this complete dark, pitch black kind of area that is pretty much upside down Hyrule, and you get to go explore it. Everything, the lights that you turn on down there are all directly beneath a surface shrine. So if you're looking for one, just
wait,
flip them.
What?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No, that's so cool.
So if you're looking for a light, like a next point to go to, just go to your surface map, find a shrine that you've located, and then flip back, and your cursor will stay right where it is. Mark it, and then go look and try to find it.
Huh.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I mentioned it in one of my Nintendo minutes. I feel like this game is like revived gaming for me, like to where I want to like. It's not that I didn't want to make time for gaming. I just wasn't, because I was so busy doing other things. And I'm literally
thinking about it when I'm not playing it.
Yes, that right there. That right there. Like, and I was on vacation. I was on vacation. Usually this week, weather-wise, is like kind of cloudy and not all that great. We literally had 70s and 80s. I actually swam in the lake for the first time in like the 4 or 5 years that I've been going to this.
You sent your weather to Colorado
spot.
then.
Yeah.
And so like because it's cold. I mean, it's frigid usually, and so there's the pool is so heated that it's like it was too warm to swim in the pool. You had to go to the lake. But I'm like, you know what? I cranked the AC in the room and I lost myself for probably 5 hours on Monday. Just 5 hours straight. I couldn't tell you. It was probably Halo Infinite was the last time I sat and played a game for that long, you know. And so
what is it that you think is like drawing you into it that you want to get just lost?
It's there's a, I don't know if it's nostalgia or just the fact that like Breath of the Wild was again such a breath of fresh air when it came, like when we got our hands on that game, that I couldn't stop playing that. And this seems no different. I will say right off the bat, I was like, man, Link moves really slow. And I was just like, it's going to take me forever to traverse around. And like, I was a little bit like, wait a minute, I want to go faster than this, you know, like that was the initial thought right off the bat. And then of course, like the first probably 2 hours with the game was streaming. So I was talking to chat, trying to pay attention to like how the different power-ups were working, and, you know, trying to pay attention to different things. And then of course you got people that are like, you know, like calling you out for being dumb or whatever. And you're like, I can't even focus on the game. I'm trying to read everybody's messages, you know. That TikTok live in an hour, like 50,000 people came through. So it was like the chat was insane. And I just set up my phone and I'm trying to play the game through my vertical phone screen while like then kind of looking to the side, which also was like almost making me like car sick. And so, but like the initial time on Sky Island, I was trying to eat the peppers just to stay warm, you know, and chat's like, you got to cook them. You got to cook them. So I was like, I don't even remember how to cook anything. Right. It's been so long.
So
like,
I appreciate the recipes and you can click it and you can put it all in your hand, but having to go through the action of, you can't batch cook and stuff, that's kind of annoying, but you have to. But,
yeah, and I mean, I didn't even know that. I just go and grab the item. Like I grabbed 5 peppers and then I stood over the fire and then cooked it. So, but I got to that snow area and I could not for the life of me find the non-ice wall. So I have videos that I'm going to try to get up tomorrow. I went and grabbed the 3 boxes at the very bottom, linked them all together, and started walking them up the hill. Right as I set them up, they fall and one breaks. I'm like, dang it! So then I just have 2. I'm setting up. I get them up. I get up to them. I grow to move them again. They fall again. One breaks. I'm like, great. I have 1 box left. So I get the 1 box all the way up there. I then cut down both those trees, put those together end to end, stick them on the end of the box, and climb.
Was this to get on that little plateau at the top of the snow?
Because
and that was just the chest. And I did that exact same thing too. I linked the trees.
Well,
together.
there was the shrine, the one with the shrine where it had
get up to the shrine. Apparently, there's a space of wall that doesn't have ice.
Yeah, there's
on
those roots.
Right by the waterfall or whatever.
Yeah, I didn't. I was like,
I found that by accident because I was wandering around. I think that's where I ended my first night, like on Thursday night. I got to that point and I was like, all right, I'll come back. No, I think I stopped and I finished building the Lego Executor Star Destroyer that I had, and then I came back to it because I had been thinking about it, and I just walked around a little bit more, and then I found it, and I think I got to the shrine, and that's where I saved. I didn't do the shrine, and then I started that back up the next morning. But yeah, it you have to like detach yourself. It's puzzles, it's all that kind of stuff. It's exploration. But the added pressure of a time limit and not wanting to have to consume more stuff that we haven't had a blood moon yet, so stuff's not respawning, that kind of stuff. I was a little bit worried about my pepper consumption and all that kind of stuff, but I'm also a hoarder in these kind of games. I haven't used much of my Zonai gotcha stuff, even though it's plentiful, it's there, it's like whatever, but yeah, I mean, that was the most challenging part, I think, of Great Sky Island was the snow part. And I
think that's
was that the
what
3rd shrine. Was that the third shrine or was that the
I
fourth?
mean, you could do them in any order. I think.
Yeah,
I don't think
it
you had to.
It doesn't matter.
But
yeah,
in
I
Breath
guess
of the
true.
Wild on the Great Plateau, the snow area was where everybody struggled too, because you didn't. Well, back then, you didn't know that food gave you resistances, or there is a tunic on the Great Plateau that increases your cold resistance in Breath of the Wild. So people were using the tunic, or people were using the peppers, and I think on the Sky Island there's the snow pants that allow you to not have to eat the peppers all the time, but you still can.
I think I had them on, and I think you still had to use them.
Yeah, it's still. I put them on, and it wasn't full resistance.
It feels so long ago now doing that, because that was I got it at midnight because I guess we all got it at midnight because
but I got it at 10 o'clock my time.
Yeah,
Josh
10
got it at
o'clock,
9
whatever. Because they were actually doing midnight releases. But I got it, I played it the first night at midnight, and I just played. I didn't make any. I wasn't concentrated on making any content. I turned everything else off, and I just did the Great Sky Island. It did take a while. I think it took a lot longer than the Great Plateau. I think it took 3-4 hours as opposed to 1 to 2 of the Great Plateau in Breath of the Wild. I know that probably is going to turn people off because that's a long tutorial.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I was thinking about it because it's hard to go back to when we actually played the Great Plateau for the first time, right? Like
true discovery of it all.
Exactly, yeah. And so with the Sky Islands and how, we got it at midnight, I'll admit I was tired and I'm trying to figure out these puzzles, and then I was like, it took me a while to get off the Great Sky Island, and then my wife, she played the next day, and she kind of followed the path that they wanted you to go on, because obviously there's many different ways that you can get to these shrines, but the way that they have it all organized for you to build like a rail and gets you to one point to another, and then it's like it's really well done. And I think if people were just to like follow the path that they're trying to lead you on, you would be okay. But of course, you're like, oh wait, what's over here? I'm gonna try to go to this shrine and do it my own way, which is great that the game even allows you to do that. So yeah, I do think that like the tutorial part of it was a bit long, but I don't necessarily knock it for that reason. And with the new abilities that we get in this game, they're fun. And
I'm
especially
40 hours in, and I think I forget I have Ascend half the time.
Oh, Ascend is my favorite.
Ascend is really cool, but yeah, it's easy to forget because you're like, oh, you can just climb up there, but no, like you can just ascend if there's an overhang. And I feel like they make overhangs a little more prevalent.
Yeah,
to be seen in this game.
I think it's fun to use Ascend, and you are like kind of clipping in and out of like a restricted area, but then it's like, no, you can get there a little bit, and if you're able to ascend at that one point, it's like kind of a added bonus of like, I wasn't supposed to do that, but here we are.
Yeah. How did you guys tackle, like, I think the first true big challenge was the minecart rail that started, and then the left,
and then it broke.
The right side fell off, and then it picked back. How did you guys accomplish that one?
There was little hooks. Well, they were not little hooks. They were hooks. Yeah. So I put the minecart on the hook on the rail that wasn't broken, and then I put a fan on it. Yeah, I went underneath it. I think that's how you're supposed to do it.
Jones minecart style kind of deal.
Are we talking on the outside or like in one of the?
It's on the outside.
On the outside.
So
on
like
the outside.
You save that Korok. You can attach a hook to the Korok backpack, and I send him across to his friend, and then you get across easily. And then that's a middle island, and then you going up a second one, the rail just falls off on the right hand side.
Yeah.
This is on the Sky Island, like at the beginning. Yeah. So I never saw that.
Make a big bridge.
I never saw that Korok, and this is all I know. Like my chat was getting, I think they were getting kind of frustrated because I'm like, I'm like, I want to progress while I'm on stream. I don't like, so I got to the point that I'm like, screw it. And I jumped on those rails and I walked all the way.
Oh, wow.
I balanced all the way.
Like
till
a
I got to-
tightrope.
Yes. Till I got to the top. I got to one and I'm like, okay, I see another rail. Okay. I need to go there. And then I jumped on there and then that took me back. And I just, I'm like, I don't see hooks like right in the like general vicinity. I never even saw that Korok.
There's a big pile of stuff.
Like, well, but see, the other thing is, I think I saw some stuff the night before, and then was in a move to a different location, and like, I'm like, oh yeah, that was. But I'm like, I don't remember where that was. I didn't mark anything, and the area seemed relatively large. So I'm like, a few different times, I feel like I went in a circle. I'm like, oh, I'm right back where I started here. This isn't ideal. So, but I will say one of my favorite moments was when I think you put the raft together for the first time with the sail.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that, and I actually, you guys are making me think of one other thing I did.
That's the first that's the first opportunity for TTP right there.
Right, that's right. So I built the raft, set it, jumped on, started across the water. All of a sudden, a stone hits me in the back of the head. That Zonai creature came running, right, and he just chucked a stone and hit me. I'm like, "What is going on?" I thought it was. I just laughed. I was like,
that a TikTok?
I might have put it. I think I did put it on TikTok. Yeah,
I saw that. That was funny.
Yeah, I was cracking up at that. But there was another area with the. I think I know exactly what you guys are talking with the broken rails.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I took eight trees and made a set of stairs and hung that had like almost looked like the letter J, and I hung them on the rails so I
just
could
made
just
a big
climb.
bridge. That's
Screw it.
The solution for a lot.
Screw a big bridge.
I just climbed and then walked it. I'm like, I'm out.
I accidentally just counterweighted it. I connected the hook to the left-hand side of my cart, and with the fans going, it just it just counterbalanced it, and it just kept going.
I'm sorry to say this, Crawler, but I think that's the way they want you to do it.
that was a true mistake. I was like, I don't even know if this will work.
My wife, she put the cart on the rail and then used 2 fans, and I was like, I don't think that's gonna work. And she's like, it might. And then she hit the fans, and then the cart goes up and kind of rocks a little bit because it's about to go down, and it gets across. And she's like, oh, that didn't work. And she starts kind of like freaking out. So as the cart was like rocking, she kind of is on like the edge of the cart, even though it made it across. And then she jumped off because of just like the motion of how I was going. I do have a question though for you guys, because one of my favorite parts of this game is actually the beginning, when it's like starts off with a cinematic and then it just puts you into the game. I thought that was so cool. And I don't play Fire Emblem or Xenoblade, and those are the only other games that I can think of that maybe do that. Is that the first time that we've encountered that for a Nintendo game?
It's a good question.
Where you just hit start and you're just in a there's no. I mean, most stuff would have like a full-on like cutscene. That wasn't really a cutscene. That was just like Zelda
walking down a couple of
in,
stairs.
It was a very Metroid opening, in my opinion, where you start with all your powers and you're moving, and then then like I felt like they pulled. I feel like they pulled a very like classy Metroid the way they worked all that out. So
yeah.
Actually, I do. So the weapons in the game are all, I forget what they're called. I forget what Decayed. I think they call them Decayed. Yeah. And I think the explanation of it being because of the gloom is pretty smart, because every single metal weapon, they're all crappy. So it gives you a reason that you have to fuse stuff. You have to, or it's not going to work. And I do like how they had the explanation of it's because of the gloom. So you're not dealing with the same stuff as you were back in Breath of the Wild. Now, I know they had said that the the weapon breaking would be,
Mm.
you get more durability if you fuse the weapons together. But I think it's the same durability as it was in Breath of the Wild. I don't think it increases it at all.
I think what they meant by that is you take a weapon that isn't as strong and then you fuse it with another one, and that weapon itself is going to last a little longer because of whatever you fused it with. But I agree, they break pretty easily.
Yeah, it ups its damage power, so it becomes a little more durable.
Yeah.
Because damage power is just, it does more damage, but it also lasts a little bit longer. One of the more valuable things is I forget what they're called, but have you guys fought those block creatures up in the sky?
Oh yeah,
They drop something that is really strong and powerful to fuse.
Oh, like the little those
spiky roller, like they
rollers,
look like a massage roller.
yeah.
But I have like a double one that I got, and it took like a level probably 16 or something sword and made it like a 62. Like they're really strong.
I got a really cool strong sword. I don't want to spoil what it is because it's awesome how you get it. And just try to defeat some gloom hands. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
That's cool.
I have a maze I need to go back to, that there's a gloom hand in the middle that I need to do to unlock a maze up top as well. So I'll have to do that.
There was an area that I got to, and it's kind of under one of the towers, and there's a bunch of rocks that you got to clear out with the
I did that one.
You're probably thinking of Lookout Landing. Maybe
that was one of the best. There's a lot of stuff under Lookout Landing. You should go explore that. That's really cool.
Yeah,
but I know what you're talking about. You're talking for one of the sky towers, right?
I believe it was one of the towers.
That was one of the most fun challenges to get inside of it, and you had to ascend through it, and that was really cool.
So the thing that I found when I got into the room with the enemies is they were all like, they were supposed to be hanging from the ceiling.
Oh, the ceiling monkeys?
And they were not. They were all like rubbing their butts on the ground. And I got to get the TikTok made because I was just cracking up. I'm like, yo, there's no way this is what these guys are supposed to be doing.
This game is running a lot of stuff at the same time. So the AI was just taking a break for a second, probably.
I guess I was just, there's been so many moments where I'm just like, yo, this is hilarious.
Because the fact that this game is recording where every 3D object is in space at any time that you are able to manipulate, and saves it to the RAM for whatever little bit is insane, because you can take any manipulated 3D object by the master hand, and you can rewind it. Like it's remembering that kind of stuff. I've seen crazy stuff this last couple days.
Oh, you're talking about the auto build?
No, well, auto build's cool. I have it. Do you guys have any of you guys gotten it?
I have it, yeah.
But I'm just talking about just the recall ability. The game is memorized, like it's remembering what every 3D object is doing at any time to be able to then initiate a recall of it at any time. And I've seen some crazy launches of people like throwing a spear and then instantly recalling it, and then attaching like a board to it, and then standing on the board, and then unfreezing, and it just launches you straight up in the air, like higher than the launch towers. So I mean, that's pretty crazy. But I've unlocked the whole map with the towers. Have you guys done that yet?
I think I'm missing 3.
Yeah, I think
I'm missing 3.
Around there. I haven't completed the map.
You played 50 hours, Cheesy. What have you been doing?
Story.
I think I'm on my last tower.
And then there's a lot of cool stuff that was in the DLC that they've implemented that you can, once you get Robbie's kind of quest done at Lookout Landing, he'll go back to the couple different labs that you've been to, and you get some of the cool features that they had in the DLC. So like Hero's Journey and the whatever the icon was that you could just place wherever to teleport to.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so you get that stuff back, which you have to do some quests to unlock it, but it's nice that all that stuff is there. And so Hero's Path is back, and I think they improved it, because I think they said 256 hours, I think, of travel time is able to be recorded, which last time it overwrote your Hero's Path at like 100 hours.
Okay, well, hold on. Now I want to ask, because you both are like completed the map, or you're close to completing the map. Are you fast traveling a lot, or are you walking around Hyrule?
I fast
I've
travel
always kind of fast
to
traveled Hyrule, like
to see the
I missed a lot of stuff in
overworld.
Breath of the Wild. Yeah,
Yeah, I want to see where the shrines are. I want to see where the chasm entrances are. But I do run around, just um, not mindlessly, but I do run around a lot.
Because for me, I don't fast travel unless like I have to, because I find that I will discover more. And if I'm fast traveling, then I'm just like I'm missing so much and just going from point A to point B instead of I don't know, just finding things along the way.
So I did all 4 fairy fountains last night, and that was kind of my focus. And you unlock one, and she'll mark the one fairy that you talk to. She'll mark the other 3 around, because it's not just pay money. The challenge, I think, in Breath of the Wild was finding them and then paying the money to unlock them. This one it has its own challenges around it to get her to come out of her fairy fountain. So I kind of spent time doing that, and I felt like on some of those tasks, it definitely put me on the ground walking more than I normally do in these games. And I came across like probably 3 or 4 different of the President Henderson is that?
The guy that's holding up his sign where you have to try to get him.
Yeah, I came across like 3 or 4 of those just on the road. He's on the road all the time, so it's like I do almost want to just do a loop on the trail, kind of through Hyrule, and just find all that stuff, because I feel like I missed a decent amount of stuff in Breath of the Wild, because I that's kind of how I play the game. Is I've find a tower, I fly to it. Like I have the full glide suit stuff now, so I can go a little bit further. I have an extra bar of stamina, so I'm flying and doing stuff, and that's just kind of how I've always played the game. But there is a lot to be missed, I guess. If I didn't, for the longest time in Breath of the Wild, I didn't find Hinsu, because he's just on the trail going up to Death Mountain. I never just take the trail, and I should.
Yeah.
I had a plan going into this game, because I knew from Breath of the Wild what I wanted to have unlocked, and I'm pretty close to finishing what I wanted to get done before I could actually start playing the game. So I needed to find Hestu, and where they put him in this game, I'm so annoyed what they did with him, because like you could probably get 15 Koroks on Sky Island, right? Or 10, 15 maybe.
I don't remember, but yeah.
So you're sitting with all these Korok seeds, and Hestu's not there. So you're like, where the heck?
Well, he wasn't on the Great Plateau either.
No, I know, but like, I don't think you could get Korok seeds on the Great Plateau. I don't remember. Maybe you could have. But I'm like, I need to find him, because I'm sick of running out of space. So that was objective number 1. Find Hestu. So I found him. And then he's like, oh, I got to go somewhere. And I'm like, crap. I got to find him again. So that was objective number 2. And I won't spoil where he goes.
I don't think I found him the first time. He was just in this. I just found him at the spot.
He's just randomly in the world. He's just randomly
I don't think I found him. I think I just got enough Korok seeds, and he just decided to come hang out.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because I was just walking around the place that one time, and I was like, oh, there he is. And I just went and talked to him. He's like, I can smell it on you.
Yeah, there's a specific there's a specific spot on the map where he is initially, and then he says, I got to go somewhere else. And then you got to go there. And then he's just there all the time. Well, you have to do something, and then he's there all the time.
We got a ton of chats to get to, but yeah.
Forever Mikoto says, what do you guys think about the underground? I personally didn't like it. There wasn't any hype for it, and I'm bored just running around.
Okay. So I think the problem with the underground is you don't know what you're supposed to do. And
Well, Robbie gives you a quest right off the
yeah,
bat,
but
he does. It doesn't do it was kind of confusing a little bit.
But I went down there
the clue
before
for
I
that
talked to
is
Robbie.
follow the statues. That's the clue.
Yeah, but they don't really. There's nothing telling you where you have to go, what you're supposed to do. Like once you do the Robbie quest,
I
then
think
he
it gets
says,
a little
"Oh,
bit easier."
yeah." But the underground is cool. I think the underground is cool.
The underground is how you power up a lot of stuff because there's a lot of bomb flowers to be found underground. There's a lot of
There's pose.
Pose are really cool. Yeah.
I was so excited when I found bomb flowers. I was like, yes. And then I hit one with my sword and it killed me. And then I didn't go back to where they were. So then when I got to an area that I'm like, yo, I can use this, I didn't have them on me. And I was like, no.
I thought they gave you a ton of arrows, like too many arrows at the start. Like I had like 150 arrows at some point.
I think the lowest I've gotten down to is like 60, and then I quickly got back up to like 200.
I think it kind of makes sense.
I haven't bought arrows. Like I don't buy arrows.
It makes sense why they give you so much arrows, because they want you to use the fuse ability,
and
you don't have lightning arrows or fire arrows or ice arrows this time around. Like they just want you to play,
which is nice because like the jellies or whatever can come into play. There's the fruit. There's a bunch of different stuff that does all the elemental stuff that the different arrows did, and it's
rubies are super powerful. So make sure you are far away if you shoot an arrow with a ruby on it. Because it's too big.
Did you guys do so? I think one of the first sync towers or whatever that people do is the one that has the bokoblin base around it.
Oh yeah. I skipped that one. Because
I don't know how many attempts I'd climb that stupid circular that I took out. I was on the my save point was just around the corner, and I would climb up to the spiked fence. I would jump off. I would do a fire fruit arrow at the bomb to get the moblin blown up, and then he was weakened. And then the bokoblin would come down, and I'd fight him. And then the two dudes up at the top would release the spike ball, and I'd go claim it and make a spike hammer thing, and then fight my way up there. And then I made a save point up there. But that took me like 7-8 tries with only 4 hearts. Try to get up there. But the solution I saw for some people online after the fact was just a big bridge, and it just went and then they ascended through it and then just walked up right behind the tower and synced it.
No, I went back like yesterday and I had like 10 hearts. I powered up some equipment. Man, those bokoblins had no idea what hit them.
Are a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
So I there was an area, I think it's the same one you guys are talking about. I just had platforms, like just the straight, and I couldn't believe how big, how long, and then like halfway through it, I just put one out so that it kind of just looked like a really massive letter T, and then I ascended up through the middle one coming out. And then climb the rest of the way. And it was the bokoblin base with all the spikes. And then I just ran to the tower and hit the button and got away from him. I was like, I'm not messing with this.
I saw a tweet where they were like, how comes all of the towers are broken down except for the bokoblin base? Like, do bokoblins upkeep their stuff better than the Hylians?
I think so. I think so.
I mean, there were some cool, like, just mini micro puzzles to get into those sky towers, which is pretty cool. I enjoyed that a little bit more than just having to have stamina to climb those towers.
Agreed.
Yeah. Do we know what happened to the towers? The towers and the divine beast?
How many years is supposed to be between Breath of the Wild and this? Is it clear?
I think it's like 5.
I mean, there's
how old was?
There's no guardians out in the courtyard. There's no, like, they've cleaned up all the guardians. They're using the guardians in those sky towers to hook up your switch and and all that kind of stuff and send you on your way.
I know the behind the scenes, like Ask the Devs, they said it took place immediately following the events of Breath of the Wild.
Which just seems weird. Like,
I don't think it was immediate. There's no way it was immediate.
Let me
It
see
was
if I
years.
Let me see if I can double check, but I thought that was.
Because how old was Pyrrha in Breath of the Wild?
Well,
I think
she explains what she does to herself if you go talk to her a few times.
She was 100.
Oh, then how?
She
Wasn't she little?
She went little again, and then she talks. She said she perfected her serum, and then was able to.
She perfected that serum for sure.
Yeah, let's talk about Sexy Ganondorf. Let's really talk about.
Why is everybody so hot in this game? But I think, the main topic that we were supposed to have tonight is this game a perfect game? And just hearing everybody's different experiences and knowing, like in chat and, with you four and then like all the videos surrounding this game, there's no other game I could think that is like this, where everybody is experiencing it differently. Everybody's playing it differently. Like, I think that makes it it might not be quote unquote perfect mechanically or, story wise or anything like that. But I think it is the perfect gaming experience.
Well, and I like what IGN kind of classifies their 10s are not perfect games. They're masterpieces or whatever. Like there might be a perfect game for you, but technically speaking, there is no perfect game.
Yeah. For me, like I don't want to really like get into numbers and the scales and everything because those are all subjective. But when you see a 10 out of 10, that's assuming that the game is perfect. They gave it a perfect score. And for me, I just don't think that it is that. I think it's like a 9 or a 9.5. Like, I think it's a great game. It's fantastic. But there are some things that are a little weird that I wish were different. Like fusing. Fusing is a little strange because you can fuse arrows easily. But like in order to fuse your sword or shield, you have to drop something on the ground first.
No, you don't.
What do you mean you don't?
Wait, you have to drop a single item? Is that what you're talking about?
If you're carrying an item and you want to drop it, like there's stuff that's easily available in the environment, and you can
right.
Yeah, you're not wrong. The way I was doing it at first is I was dropping everything because I forgot that the fuse button was like in the menu. Like I was like, oh wait, but it's not as easy as arrows, not even close.
And there was something I was trying to save a bomb arrow, like a bomb flower bomb, the other day. Because there was an explosive barrel sitting next to me, and there's no way to bring up the fusibility and add it to an arrow. Like you can't just add something in the environment to your arrow. It has to be from your inventory.
Right. So like do it either one way or another, where you either have to drop an item or you're fusing with items that are on the ground already, or be able to fuse just from the quick menu itself. I also feel that way with eating. I shouldn't have to pull up my whole inventory just to go pick out an item to eat. Like you can't eat from the quick menu
because that makes it good for battle. I guess
it also allows you to like take a breath, right? Like you're down to a half heart or one heart. Like you pause, take a breath, eat food, and then get back into it.
Because
I actually don't mind that design
where you have to separate yourself and drink a potion.
I mean, I do kind of like how Elden Ring and Dark Souls games, they have it where it's a button, like your healing item's a button, which they could have done that. But there's so much going on in this. There's so many mechanics in this game that, of course, there's going to be like non-ideal. Like I still think the jump and the sprint buttons are wrong. I think they should be flipped. But that doesn't mean I don't think it's a perfect. I still think it's a perfect game. Like even with those problems.
Did they switch the ability button from Breath of the Wild to Tears of the Kingdom?
I don't think so.
That's okay. That's what I thought. I thought it was up on the D-pad. So every time I hit up, that's wrong now. And then I'm like, well, wait, what button is it? And it's L.
Yep.
And so that's been tripping me up a lot.
I appreciate the wheel.
Yeah, the wheel
is nice. The wheel is nice.
Yeah.
But there's so many mechanics that like you can't it's not going to be perfect. Like if they change the fuse, which I understand what you're saying, but it takes like 2 seconds to drop an item and then fuse it together.
Well, and exploring the depths or whatever it's called. There's if you press and hold R and then press up on your D-pad, you can like, you don't have to do a bloom, whatever the glow flower is or whatever. You don't have to put it on an arrow every time. You can
just throw it. Just throw it.
So there's a way that there's a way you can go into your quick menu and just throw it on the ground.
Did you not listen to the tutorial, Cheesy?
Well, no, but I'm thinking that throwing it isn't going to be as helpful as putting it on an arrow.
But you won't use an arrow.
I don't know if you throw a bomb on the ground if it blows up or not.
Yeah, I haven't tried that. But yeah, throwing the flowers, like, you don't use an arrow.
Yeah.
And I honestly, it does. You can't throw it far enough to be beneficial.
What do you mean that you don't use an arrow? Can't you attach the light bloom seed to the arrow?
You can.
Yeah,
but you don't have to waste an arrow with a light bloom seed. You can just press and
saving
hold R
inventory,
and then go to your quick inventory of items, and then just select that and just huck it, and it's okay. It doesn't go as far, but it's effective.
Gotcha.
As you're going. I had Cryptic's message up here. So with everything that is coming out here in the future for this year, do you still think it will be your game of the year?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, there's only really, I think, 2 games that maybe could give it a run, but I don't even think they really come close. And that's Spider-Man and then Starfield.
It's the highest rated game ever on OpenCritic. So I doubt it's gonna.
Well,
lose.
And what I was gonna say is, we had a comment earlier from Jake from Snake Farm, said that Tears of the Kingdom is overwhelming, and I think if they think this is overwhelming, Starfield is going to be overwhelming. Like, I don't think a lot of people are going to. They'll enjoy Starfield, but it's going to be a lot when you think about how many galaxies you have to visit or that you can visit. Like, that's.
I think Starfield's going to be a little more curated to kind of guide. I don't know.
It's also part of Xbox's plan. They haven't. It was a joke to do for years. Now they're going to give you a game that takes years to play. So
it was a joke. I was talking about Wells, and he did the overwhelming joke. So it wasn't. Yeah. So you got tricked.
I did get tricked.
Bamboozled.
But I could see how people think this is overwhelming, and how games like this that take a long time to play get overwhelming. And like, Johnny, do you think this is going to be your first game that you finish for the year?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Ever.
Yeah, or man. Ever. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
He's gonna burn out. Not burn out. He's gonna slow down to a certain point, and I'm gonna guilt him into going and finishing Jedi
That's what I was thinking too.
Survivor.
He's like, I've got a whole plan, and this was my plan, and I'm almost done to
finished it last week or whatever.
Yeah. But I think I think open world games can be overwhelming. Yeah. But like, this is probably one of the bigger open world games out there. Well, and I don't think it's overwhelming. The ones that I feel like are overwhelming are the ones that have the maps that have all the stupid checkpoints and all of the things on the map. Like, all of the collectibles are on the map, all of the quests.
This one.
Yeah, I don't do that. I just explore what I want to do.
But I mean, I think that is also the genius of how Nintendo is able to make this game open world and for you to care and discover, because like, there's always something that you can either find, or someone you can go talk to, or it's a new mission,
armor set to go find, weapon
right
to go find.
And I feel like a lot of open world games just kind of say, here you go, have fun, but like, they're not really leading you to the next thing or the next opportunity that isn't like part of the main story.
Josh, where are you in just the world?
I think I have one tower left. I think from what
10
I was
hours in, you only have one tower left. That's impressive.
That's
If
better than
that's
cheesy right now.
Yeah.
if that's true.
So you've been prioritizing just exposing the map, and then you'll start to play.
well, but I do every shrine I see along the way.
Yeah,
But they don't seem to
so-
take very long.
I've done.
Okay,
two,
big brain.
I've done 2 temples. Have you guys done any temples?
I've done
I've done
one
2.
temple.
But do the shrines seem shorter to you guys? Like it's like, well, there's 1 or 2 rooms, and then you're at the.
Yeah, but I feel like
How long were the
there-
Breath of the Wild temples? I mean,
yeah, there was. I think there was only 2.
Sorry, shrines.
Some
I don't
are
think they were
longer
huge.
Puzzles, it seemed like I've only felt like there's one that I've done so far that was in the sky that seemed like
The combat training ones don't count, Josh. All right.
yeah.
The pinball, the first pinball one that I came across, that one took me a little while.
There was one with you have to get a ball to the end goal, but there's like rails, and you had to like build contraptions to carry the ball on the rail to the end goal. And that one took me forever, probably like 20-25 minutes. So if you're 10 hours in and you're doing
on that one, I just built a box around the rail with the ball inside the rail.
Yeah, that's what I couldn't. I think I was playing late at night. I couldn't figure it out. I'm like,
the one that everyone's been posting videos on, which we were talking about on Discord yesterday. The 2 rails that becomes 1 rail. That's kind of the tri-rail thing at the end.
Oh yeah,
just kind of they're just finding a way to get high up in the air and like bomb shielding and then grinding the rail with their shield the rest of the way. Like I did that, I think how Nintendo intended me to do it, like first try, because they tiered it for you. It was a single rail and then a double rail and then it was the 2 rail to 1. It was the tri-rail thing, and I just took my build and just modified it. All I did was like a flat thing that I was standing on, and then 3 middle stabilizers pretty much, and then fans on the back, and I just rode it all the way up and around.
I literally just did that before we started recording, and I didn't think it was that difficult of a shrine.
Big brain.
Yeah, I'm smart. But now I gotta watch Josh play, because apparently every shrine is super easy to him.
Except he couldn't figure out how to get to the Korok.
Yeah, this seems seeming pretty sus right here.
This is sounding like Kirby completionist here.
No, I mean, I don't even know how many I've done, honestly. Like
you could check right now.
I could, except I don't know where
I have
my
done
Switch is right now.
I have done 40 shrines. I have hold on, I have it up.
Have you
Can
been
we-
playing Zelda the entire podcast?
No,
Okay.
No, I have like 40 shrines, like 46 Korok seeds.
So I know that's in the loading screen. Is there a spot?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, maybe I just saw it when it was loading, but anyway, that I think the shrines are much smarter than they were in Breath of the Wild. Unless I'm not remembering the shrines in Breath of the Wild.
I feel like they're more streamlined. Is kind of what I think is more what I was trying to say. It's not that they're necessarily like too easy or whatever. I feel like they're almost they take about the perfect amount of time is what it feels like. Whereas like there were some of the shrines in Breath of the Wild that was like, okay, I'm trying to balance this ball up this thing and do this. And
No
like,
motion controls that I've found so
control,
far, so
yeah.
that's good.
Let's see. I didn't
know motion controls were tied, like mine are on. And so I'm trying to do rewind and I'm like, why can't I aim at the and then I moved my controller and I was like, oh, that's it.
Is it the second thing down? Is that what the shrines are? I took a picture of it.
Okay.
I think maybe
Okay.
it's
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
Oh, it's not. Why is that not working? That's not working.
Brian is here and says, couldn't
50 I've done
balance a
51.
ball, get good. Okay. So I went to the first, I've been waiting to tell this until I saw Brian. So I went to the first stable. Okay. Now I wasn't sure if my save file or whatever came over from Breath of the Wild. I haven't touched the Breath of the Wild in years, and I wasn't sure. Well, it was. and I had 3 horses. Destinaut, that's AKA Brian. He was the co-host of the Nintendo Powercast when it first started. And so one of my horses, I was like, wait a minute, what? I didn't remember this. All of a sudden, my horse Destinaut shows up. Drummer, who only used one M in his name, was like he was in my chat for years, like all the way back to the Destiny days. And then Epona. That was it. Those were the 3 horses that I grabbed Epona, went riding. I was like, yo, this is sweet. And then got off, ran too far away, tried to whistle, wouldn't come back, went to another stable. I'm like, I want Epona. They're like, it's already out. I was like, dang it, I don't know where this horse is.
Give it a little bit of time. She'll find her way back, and you can.
Yeah,
call
they'll
her back
find it.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So
Brian says, "I'm just a horse to you."
yeah, right.
Whoops. Wrong one.
No, but I'm sure chat was like, "Oh, name it after Brian or something." I can't remember, but I just loved seeing that. I thought it was great because I mean, Breath of the Wild is what we were playing when NPC first started. You know, it was just so it just, and I mean, there were so many, just so many long streams. I can remember like working long days, being at the gym in the morning, long day of work, and then streaming for like 6 hours of just like barely keeping my eyes open, but just having a blast with that game. So
The first night when I was on Great Sky Island, and one of the reasons I knew I was tired is I have a habit of sleep playing. I don't know if you guys do this. Do you?
Yeah,
do you sleep play?
That's how. Yeah, Red Dead Redemption 2 was too slow and boring, and I'd fall asleep playing that game all the time.
So, but like, are you still moving your character?
I mean, I tend to do like the nod awake kind of thing. But
so for me, like, yeah, I mean, I'll nod off, but like when I am asleep, quotes, in that moment, like my character is still moving. My thumb is moving the joystick, and all I can hear is Link yelling as he falls off the Sky Island, and I'm like, okay, I clearly need to go to bed.
So what I'm hearing is those 50 hours are not actual playtime.
It's just me asleep, which I don't know. That's pretty impressive.
I've just
you haven't figured out how to upgrade your energy, so it's not that impressive.
It's true. I don't know how to do that. I'll figure it out.
We walked you through that.
Going back to Breath of the Wild, Brian says, I got roasted for saying you could get a house like 2 months after the game came out. Like, I do remember that.
I'm hoping we can get a house in this game. I've been to Terrytown, and I didn't spend much time there. I don't know.
Okay,
it didn't look like my house was there anymore.
I need honest answers. Okay. After one of the towers, or one of the towers, you land on a sky island, and there is a device that is that can launch you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How many of you died from not pulling your glider? Please tell me I'm not the only one.
Oh, I've buried myself in the ground a few times.
Yeah.
No, but I'm talking like off that device. Like you weren't actually falling. It just launches you to another island. I'm like, oh, I should be fine.
Oh, you're an idiot.
I don't know.
But
I don't know what you're talking about.
Depending on where you lined it up. Is that what you're talking about?
I didn't touch it. I just let it stay where it was, like its original spot, and it put me right onto another island.
It's got a pinwheel.
Yeah, it's got a wheel.
Push
right, for sure.
Okay.
But and maybe I did line it up.
The first one that you land on is lined up usually pretty well with whatever you're going.
Yeah,
to,
so I'm like, oh, this should be fine. I hit that ground and just splattered. I was like, are you kidding me?
Of course you have to open your paraglider.
Well,
This isn't Fortnite, Josh. It doesn't open by itself.
But for some reason, just thinking like, it wasn't like a straight down drop. It was more like just let me boost you over to that area. Like, I thought I'd be fine. Like maybe come down.
There's a shrine like that too that you got to do that. So be ready for that. You got to open your chute.
Yeah. Well, I mean, do you guys find you've died a lot in this game?
Oh, I died a lot in Breath of the Wild. I died a lot in this game, and I've precursored that to William, who gets frustrated sometimes in games. I'm like, you're gonna die a lot in this game because he's started it. So
this is not a kid's game. I think
it's
from the beginning.
Game.
Like, it's kind of spooky.
No, I didn't mean like that. I meant like,
Well,
It's-
I mean,
it's
I'm
how
just
are kids
thinking-
going to figure out some of these puzzles?
Bro,
And
we played Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Okay, there was nothing hard. This game is easy compared to that, so I don't want to hear it.
Do you think that developers are starting to think about how they can get people to advertise their game for them? Because I'm thinking of like Animal Crossing, Minecraft, Tears of the Kingdom, and I guess you could put like Elden Ring on that list as well, because you have your own way of playing the game,
Oh, Jeff
and
Keighley
you get to
promoted that one.
share your experience with everyone else. What was that? What did you say?
Jeff Keighley promoted Elden Ring.
Well, true, but I mean, like people were sharing their
Yes,
streams
yes.
and their videos and whatnot. Um,
Korok videos are all I see. So this game is like selling itself.
I know, and that's what I'm saying. Like, do you think developers are having to think, okay, how can we element some kind of gameplay mechanic that will get the people to sell it for us?
They probably thought, like, when they made the escort missions for the Korok seeds, they're like, people are going to do weird things.
You
and
think
like,
so?
Oh yeah, because that clip that
They
we
have
showed
rockets.
in,
I mean, the fact that you can just strap a rocket onto his back and send him on his way. Yes, I think they knew. I don't think they anticipated like the giant mechanized man that did things.
No, I think they did. I think they did because that clip that I shared in about
The
TTP or whatever, like that is known. That is a known thing that will happen if you have user generated content. Like they have to know.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure their testers did it too. Like they knew.
They have to know, but at the same time, they're Nintendo. So I'm thinking of like Smash Bros. When you were able to like make your own stage. I mean, you still can, but like when that first came out, man, that got censored real fast.
Well, that's probably why they don't have a feature to share your. Which I think actually somebody said maybe they should have a feature to share the auto builds. And now thinking about it, it's like
people have made
maybe
websites.
not.
People have made websites. To
Oh,
show
really?
Auto build. Yep. Which auto build is cool, but it's also it can get. I don't have the resources to just let it go hog wild yet.
Those uses are for something else that Cheesy doesn't know about.
Yeah,
because he's played 50 hours and he hasn't played the game.
Track down auto build. I think it's a cool thing.
It is a cool story beat too.
I will say like one more thing because I forget who asked about it, but they were talking about the memories this time around and like how do you guys feel about coming across those?
A lot easier to find.
Yeah.
I haven't found any because I don't care.
Yes, you have.
Yeah.
I know you have.
No.
I found one.
The glyphs in the side of the mountain.
Oh, is that a memory?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But what he said is true. He doesn't care.
Breath of the Wild were damn near impossible to find because it was based on pictures and
right. Yeah.
Did you notice that the opening cutscene is memory number 2? And you have to find memory number 1?
Yes. Have you found memory number 1?
I don't go through the UI that much.
Oh.
Yeah, that one's cool.
Memory number 1?
Yeah. Because that was because I was doing the one thing I wanted to do.
Has to.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
I haven't seen many people talk about it, so I don't think a lot of people have done it yet.
I don't think a lot of people are playing the story. I mean, if you look at like what they're building and what they're doing to these poor Koroks, like that's the main objective of this game to them.
Well, and the auto weapons that are fighting Gleox and stuff.
Yeah,
like that are crazy.
I don't think I even found like the laser yet.
I did find it.
Oh, you found
it? Or is that
Gleox.
the horse? It's the horse head,
it's
isn't
the
it?
horse's head thing.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a few. Like the dragon is the fire. There's something that's ice, and then the
pulse cannon. I think
the
is
horse.
What it's called.
Yeah.
Is that right?
So, is this a spoiler about Gleox?
Well, we're about to find out, I guess.
It's in the trailer. It's in the
No.
trailer. Okay, so Gleox, the giant dragons. I'm like
elemental dragon.
elemental. Yeah, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go fight one.
How'd that
And
go? You got to stun it 3 times for it to fall down.
make sure you're prepared because you will get destroyed. They are much harder than Lynels, like the Lynels from Breath of the Wild. And they're the hardest enemies in the game.
I will say, I think I forgot how much you run away from enemies in Breath of the Wild at the beginning.
Oh yeah,
because you
Even
just
the
aren't.
goblins like with the big dude walking around. I'm like, nope, I'm not going that way.
Yeah,
That's the other thing, and I haven't posted this. Maybe you guys have seen it, maybe not. But one of the first encounters I got with one of the bigger bogoblins is he's throwing the little ones at me. I was like,
He picked up the little one and just threw them at you.
picking up the little ones and chucking them at me.
What's the bigger than the flying
Hinox?
The what?
Hinox? The one with the one eye?
That's no. The flying things that like sometimes they're carrying a bokoblin around.
Oh, I don't remember what they're
I don't know
called.
what they're-
Easy to take out though.
Oh yeah, they're one shot.
Yeah.
Just key them.
But yeah, they I haven't used my key. I've just been hoarding everything because the fairies are expensive.
Hey, there's a
The fairies
duplication
are
glitch.
expensive.
There's a duplication glitch.
Yeah, I'm not doing
Has
that.
anybody tried it yet?
Mm-mm.
No.
It'll
No,
do
I
it.
like to play
I'm
this game
tempted to try
legit,
it
all
for,
right?
Diamond.
I'm not time traveling to get all the amiibo pieces. I'm not duplicating. I play the game like a real gamer, all right?
Have you gotten anything I've gotten some fabrics.
I got some pants.
I've only gotten fabrics out of amiibo drops. I haven't gotten like anything crazy. I've been using my I want the creepy mask from the
I got the pants for that one so far.
The actual Link amiibo that I scanned literally gave me nothing. Like there was
the P stand one. That's how you get Epona. If you don't have, you already had Epona,
Yeah.
so that's probably why you didn't get it.
Well, though I don't have that one. The one I scanned was I scanned the 8-bit Link and Link's Awakening, and neither one of them gave me anything of
8-bit Link gave me a retro, like an 8-bit retro fabric. And I was gonna go put it on, but I'm so rupee poor. Like I didn't.
I'm broke.
I didn't want to spend 20 rupees to change my damn fabric. Because
I changed mine.
I want the Majora's Mask one because I think that's the coolest looking one, but I haven't gotten that one yet.
I changed mine to the Rivali glider because Rivali's the best champion. Facts.
Oh God, that explains so much about you. I hate that.
Rivali's the best.
Rivali is definitely not the best.
So I don't think.
Oh, and I went to Zora's domain first because Sidon, Daddy's Sidon, so you got to go there first.
Yeah,
I was near there today. I think that's actually where I ended my play today.
Yeah, I don't want to like. This isn't a spoiler. I just want to say another reason I don't think this is a perfect game, and like, there's definitely a lot that is going on in the background of this game. I don't think that it renders as smoothly as Breath of the Wild did, and I will say with the water temple, it's pretty slow, and like, there's reasons for why it would be, but like, it chugs a little bit
because of the gravity.
Yeah.
I have not noticed. Like, I know it chugs in like some of the villages, but like, it's not.
No, I'm not saying
not
like
noticeable.
It's awful or unplayable. It's just probably for me. I just don't think it's as smooth as what it was in Breath of the Wild.
I mean, like I said, I think the game is running a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
it's running on
sure.
on a 2016 Android tablet. So, I mean, it's doing a pretty good job. I think IGN posted a video that they went from the highest point that you could be at to the lowest, all the way down to the depths in one continuous thing. And there's built-in kind of loading a little bit between sky and ground and underground.
Mm-hmm.
But and then I think Ascend has some built-in kind of hidden loading as well. but for the most part, like you only see kind of loading screens when you're going to
When you're fast traveling.
the fast travel, and then like some specific underground triggers, I think, that are pulling you out of the main overworld to a specific like cave system.
Mm-hmm.
But I've done wind and water. I think, is that what you've done?
That's what
TZ?
I've done too. And I would say
I
wind.
preferred water over wind.
Oh, and I was gonna say I think I liked wind over water.
I didn't like the. I guess I wasn't attuned to Master Hand or the Master Hand thing as much as I should have been for wind first, because that was the first one I did.
Ultra
Mm.
Hand.
Ultra Hand,
yeah.
Master Hand, whatever. Yeah.
There's
You're
people that will
you're-
tweet
I
at
know,
us.
You're just saving me in the comments. I appreciate it.
Yes,
They should have called it Master Hand. I don't know why they didn't.
because Ultra Hand is an old Nintendo toy.
Master Hand's a Super Nintendo or the Super Smash Bros. Villain.
Win-win. And I mean, they got Splatoons represented in Tears of the Kingdom with or I guess more
The muck.
Mario Sunshine. But either way,
yeah.
it's still kind of a mix of turf happening and then turf being cleaned with,
Mhm.
with flood arrows.
Yeah,
I got
yeah.
lucky when I wandered into Zora's Domain. I had just been to a shrine that had the hydrants, and so I had a hydrant hammer to just swing around and
Oh,
clean up a bunch
nice.
of that stuff.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But yeah, there's some cool stuff.
I thought getting to the temple was really cool.
Getting to both temples has been better than the actual temples.
Yeah. I agree with that.
I think that's part of it, though. I think
It is.
like the temple itself. I think Crawler, you had mentioned in the chat that it was essentially like the Divine Beast, and I would agree. I think the puzzles are similar to what the Divine Beast puzzles were.
Mm-hmm.
Like getting to the temple felt more like when you're in like a Zelda temple, getting to the boss area.
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
And the boss fights are a lot more enjoyable than the
yeah, the Divine Beast
The
than
Ganons
just
or
fighting
the Blights.
Blight Ganon.
the Blights.
Yeah. You said it's fun getting to the temple. Just imagine me going there 3 times, because one time I got there and I didn't have what I needed, and then I was like, okay, I'll go back down
You got there
and get
without
what I.
Sidon? You just got up there without him?
No, I'm talking about wind. It was a lot of. That's probably where most of my 50 hours comes from. Is just trying to get up to that temple.
Yeah, this 50 hours is starting to feel a little sus here. He's sleeping and playing.
And did it not let you get fast travel points then? Because there's a shrine usually pretty close.
He doesn't
to-
fast travel, so like
No, there's a well, I mean, even though I did get the shrines up there, I was at the temple and they're like, "Oh, you can't do it because
Oh, it wouldn't let you?
you're too cold." So I was like, "Okay, well, I'll get warmer clothes." And then I got warmer clothes and I went up there and I'm figuring out all the rooms and everything, except for there's one key component, one key component that I'm missing, and it's really important. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll go back down again. But I did all of that without the one thing that is really going to help you get there even quicker. I'm trying not to spoil it. It's really hard to talk about without spoiling.
You're doing a good job.
we have to do a spoiler cast at some point.
Yeah.
I'm thinking probably 2 weeks, but maybe less, if depending on how.
Well, we know Johnny's not going to finish it, so he.
I will
doesn't have to
finish
be
it.
here.
I have said that I finish Mario, Zelda, and From Software games.
So
Pokemon.
you've done one.
Pokemon.
Josh, you haven't done any yet
No.
of the
no,
4
no.
points?
I'm like I'll do them really quick because like I'm super powered right now. I have like 15 hearts. I almost got a full extra stamina wheel. I upgraded my armor like 4 times. Like,
Yeah.
dude, these bokoblins in the temple are not going to know what hit them.
Right, but
I
what
just use
is
the
going to
crappiest,
stump
weakest
you?
weapons. That's the problem. Because I don't
Is
want to use I still don't want to use my good stuff.
The puzzles.
What?
about
They're
the
not that
puzzles?
hard, but I just feel like, even if you are stacked on armor and health and
There is one puzzle in the water one that I was like, what am I supposed to do here?
Uh-huh.
And then
I think I might know what it is.
Oh,
it's spinny spins.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, the one that was just going really
Yeah, and
fast.
I'm like,
Yeah.
what the heck? And then you do it, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
stupid.
It
I
was
feel like an
stupid.
idiot.
Especially because
That's how I felt like getting there too.
There was a
Like
bunch of
there's
stuff
that
sitting around that I'm like, what am I trying to do with this stuff? And yeah, that was stupid.
and then like there's the riddle that you have to solve. And I could not
riddle.
like getting
Yeah, I don't. What are you talking about?
like
Talk about it
getting
after
there.
the show.
Yeah.
Oh,
But there was a riddle.
He sends
Yeah.
you a few different spots. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
And I'm
now.
like,
I was up there and I was looking around.
I'm
I'm
like, what the heck are you talking about?
Shot like 3 or 4 of them around, and
yeah.
then I
And then when you figure it out, you're like, oh, that's I'm an idiot.
I'm stupid.
But this game's perfect.
This
I don't care
game
what Cheesy
humbles you,
says.
only
It's
for sure.
perfect.
Well, and that's I was gonna kind of close because I didn't really touch on the the game being perfect or whatever. But for me, because it's just kind of like reinvigorated my love for gaming. Honestly, it's not that I was like, I was still playing a little bit of Fortnite, a little bit of Halo here and there, kind of just doing the weekly stuff or whatever. But like, as much as I want to get into Xenoblade, it just wasn't pulling me in as much mostly because I'm like, I'm afraid if I jump into this, I'm going to spend a chunk of time and then it's going to be too long before I get back into it again. And then I'm not going to remember where I was at or what I was supposed to be doing. And whereas like this one, it felt like I was just getting back to the old game to a certain extent, but then with all this new stuff and I don't know that like it's hard to use words like perfect when it comes to games because it's all you're not going to know like if a game is some people are going to be like, yo, it's 30 FPS. It's broken. It's not, or it's only 720p or it's not like it's just going to depend on the reviewer at that point, right? It's all subjective. And so
yeah.
To me, it fits the mold of perfect game because I can't stop thinking about playing it.
Yeah.
I can't stop thinking about jumping back into it. It's not the overall like the way it runs in the gameplay. It's just that like I'm thinking about these puzzles when I come back. Like I left that shrine where there was a lot going on and I'm like, okay, I'm going to come back to this. And I'm pretty sure this is how I need to do it. But like, I wasn't entirely sure. And then even getting the chest in that area still took a little bit of doing. Like, I'm like, oh, I need to do this and this.
Yeah, I was
and
gonna
this.
say, are you guys
like,
getting the bonus chests in every shrine?
Trying to.
Some of them.
Yeah.
I feel like I feel like I may have missed a couple.
Do
you guys always run to the backside? I always run to the backside to see if there's one thing.
I don't think they're. This might be my one gripe with the game. The chests don't feel meaningful.
Boom. Nailed
Sometimes you get like 5 arrows out of them.
Yeah.
Or a piece
Sometimes
of
you
opal.
get like an elixir. Like that's meaningful sometimes. But
even so, like they're consumable items. Like it would be cool. There are, you find armor pieces in certain areas.
But those are just out in the world.
Yeah, but if every chest was like that you just keep that item, it would be more meaningful than just finding like a weapon with 5 attack power
that you have to drop some other crappy weapon that you already have because you're maxed out.
Yeah, it kind of it's almost like they should have done like wooden chests or something for your like lesser items, but when you see the like gold chest out there, you're like, oh, what piece of armor is going to be in this? And it was like 3 arrows, and you're like,
I went into a well the other day, and the wooden chest had 50 rupees in it, and the metal one had like a crappy weapon. I'm like, what the hell?
If they all had rupees in them, I would be so happy because I am broke.
Poor. Yep. And I'm not good. I tried once or twice on the very southeastern island. There's a flight test dummy mini game that you can do that you can get like 100 rupees or whatever if you get it in the bullseye. I didn't spend enough time just to sit there and and farm it, but I'm not great at it yet. So, but you have to pay 20 rupees to get 100.
Try
so
to
I'm
get
like,
100. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not a gambling man, I guess, when it comes to that. Not when I only had like 400 rupees. I'm like, I'm not going to wager that right now.
You got
I'm-
400
I'm-
rupees somehow? Sheesh.
I'm up to like 1,200 or something right now. You're probably poor from spending money at the ferries, right?
Yeah,
They
I'm
get
upgrading
expensive.
everything, so I'm poor.
Oh my god, I love it.
I need
love
to
it.
duplicate diamonds is what I need to do.
There you go. There you go. Well, guys, we are an hour 25 into this thing. Thank you so much for hanging with us. If you're here live, thank you so much. If you're listening after the fact, we appreciate you so very much. Of course, go and check out Communication Air, and let's get them up to 200 episodes or 200 plays an episode, and
They need
just
subs on YouTube too.
get over on YouTube. They're
Yeah,
on all
we're
the
over-
places. So
We got over 50. The next stop is 100.
I was going through a bunch of my different YouTube accounts and subbing like so the other day I did that. So anyway, we appreciate you guys so much. We do want to hear from you, so jump into the Discord, get into the conversation, tweet at us, all the things. Oh man, you guys, I mistakenly said Skyward Sword was on GameCube. I was thinking about Twilight Princess the other day. I was like, yeah, I was getting some DMs from people like,
Good engagement, right?
Do you even game? I was like, so anyway, we love you guys. Thanks so much for everything, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye now.